If there's one more incident, they'll see how incompetent she really is. So what is she doing? She's pandering to the prisoners to keep them quiet. And they'll use her, don't you worry about that, which will make our job that much harder.
Vera, if I hear one more word against Mrs. Davidson, so help me, I might just put in a report of my own.
You must see what's happening. Wentworth is getting slacker by the minute.
All I see is a woman under a lot of strain, trying to do a good job and getting absolutely no support from some of the senior members of her staff.
She is under no more strain than we are. Unless, of course, you're talking about personal pressures.
Well, you two knock it off. I'm getting sick and tired of the infighting that's going on around this place. As senior members of staff, we have a right to express doubts about certain decisions that are made. But I agree with you, it should be done out in the open and not behind anybody's back. Why women can't discuss things calmly is beyond me. Now, if you two ladies will excuse me, I've got work to do.
He should be working in a men's prison. He hasn't got the first idea about women.
Dr. Wiseman should be finished with White by now. I better go and get her.
Come and get it.
Oh, yeah.
Bloody rain!
Nearly starved to death here, I bet.
Just don't want to treat her like any other newcomer. Mind you, an apology or two wouldn't go astray, seeing as how we've done her wrong. But no grudges, no nothing. I want her out of isolation. Feeling better?
Tastes real good.
Good on you, love. You've got to eat.
Shame it was raining. It would have been good to have the barbie outside.
Think yourself lucky old Davo let us have it at all.
You know, Lizzie, Margot.
Good day, love. I'm glad they let you out, even if it's only for tea. I reckon we got you to thank for all this.
Reckon we got off on the wrong foot. No hard feelings, huh?
All right. Hi. Welcome to the indoor Barbie, doll.
I read in the papers about how you got caught.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't if I hadn't tried to give the money back.
Some people got no gratitude.
So far, so good.
A little bit too friendly, if you ask me.
You should feel right at home here. Just moved from one factory to the next.
What happened?
It's a hamburger.
Pick it up, Birdsworth.
Miss Bennett has taken her to dispensary. I don't think it's too bad.
It seems I misjudged you, Bryant. I shall certainly think twice before taking your word for anything again.
I swear to you that none of us knew there was anything in that, Mrs. Davidson.
You two were responsible for preparing the meal.
The last time I was accused of putting something in me cooking, I got 20 years. I was innocent then, too.
Gaffney broke a glass when I was in the kitchen, Mrs. Davidson.
Must have fallen in accidentally.
You will be confined to your cell for 24 hours.
But
Be quiet. As you were all obviously responsible, you can tell the others there will be no more barbecues. And that is final. You may go.
Wait in the corridor. I take it White will have to stay in isolation.
No matter what I decide, it always seems to be the wrong decision.
Look, why don't you go home early? You look very tired.
I have too much work to do.
Can wait.
I'm not seeing Andrew again. I had to make a decision. Another decision.
This must be quite a blow to your pride. One minute they think you're so important, the next minute they turn on you. But then you're not much use to them anymore, are you?
It was fun while it lasted.
You think you're so smart, White. But what's so clever about joining forces with a bunch of criminals? Or is it just a game to you?
Actually, you're right. It wasn't that much fun. You see, it was so easy to con you. There's no sport involved when you're dealing with officers with an average IQ of below 0.
This letter arrived for White at the front gate.
She may as well have it now. I've already censored it.
Thank you. You got a letter. Regulations state that all mail must be censored by an officer. It's from the foreman at the factory, Talbot. Very interesting. He says you owe him $250. You must have made quite a group. You embezzling the company, Reynolds' fraudulent behavior, and Talbot. This letter speaks for itself.
He's a pig.
Mrs. Davidson's usually very good at assessing people. I'm amazed she wasn't onto the type she was dealing with sooner. You were Reynolds' assistant. Was he just out to use Mrs. Davidson's position, or didn't she care?
I'll tell you something that'll really interest you, Miss Bennett. I wouldn't give you the time of day if you begged for it.
You owe that man nothing. He was the one that got you arrested.
Now, don't get me wrong. I can't stand him. But you're the vilest thing I've ever met.
I'm not making any promises, Erica, but I don't want our relationship to be just a business association. Yeah. I want to get to know you, be with you. And I don't want to run or hide from something that I haven't felt in years.
Neither do I.
My work is my whole life. I couldn't be happy without it.
Hey, Doreen. You all right, love?
Yeah.
Here.
Thanks, B.
Let me do that.
I hate it, B. I hate knowing that what's inside of me is that man's.
It's half yours too, love.
Yeah. I keep trying to pretend that it's all mine. But I keep seeing Talbot. And it should be Kevin's.
Hey, what's the matter? Nothing, Lizzie. Go back to sleep.
I keep going over it and over it, you know. And I reckon that I could probably tell Kevin that it's his, and, well, after it's
What
born...
good would that do if you're going to hate it so much? Look, there's nothing worse than having a kid you don't want, Doreen. If you decide to go through with this, you've got to love it while it's in you and when it's born. You're not going to fool Kevin, and you're just going to make a little kid's life a misery.
Are you telling her to get rid of it?
I'm trying to help her face facts, Lizzie, and lying's not going to help anyone.
Oh, you've always loved kids, Dor. They took away your first one. You're not going to lose your second one. You'll learn to love her, you see. And it doesn't matter whose it is.
It does if she can't cope with it. Look, Dor's young. Got a whole tribe of kids ahead of you. Ones you and Kevin want.
Well, what would you do if you was me, B?
I'm not you, love. I'm never going to be able to have any more kids. So if I could, it wouldn't matter who the father was.